Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, celebrations are coming over the next couple of months. Magic Keyholder Magic Shots, special D23 Star Wars pins.
Fantasmic turns 30. Something else is coming back from before COVID times. And we talk about our trip last week and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Howdy, partners! For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast. And be sure to watch your ears. If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, because Tag and Teresa have the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of May 18th, 2022. I'm Tag Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. Thank you to Courtney S. for becoming an official weekly tier, and also to Kitty J. for increasing your support on Patreon. Our supporters get some pretty fun perks like DL Weekly swag, bonus content, and access to our Discord community. If you would like some more Disney magic in your day, head on over to dlweekly.net/support to join our community.
Well, you've heard us talk about our great experiences staying at the Howard Johnson Anaheim Water Park and Hotel, which we had another great experience this past week there. Well, we have partnered with them to offer our listeners some cool discounts. Weekly tiers can get 15% off their stay, and Magic Keyholder weekly tiers get 20% off. To take advantage of these discounts, head on over to dlweekly.net and click on the Howard Johnson logo. Be sure to use the promo codes on the site to get the discount that you qualify for.
Now let's get to the news.
For those weekly tiers visiting in May, Disneyland is celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Downtown Disney will have plenty of entertainment to show off for the event. A 4-piece Polynesian band called Fava will be performing on Mondays and Wednesdays. The Philharmagic, a 5-piece Filipino a cappella vocal group, will be performing on Tuesdays. Polynesian dancing and drums will be presented by Tapua on Thursdays and Fridays. And finally, Chinese Cultural Splendor will show off martial arts, dance, lion dancing, and more on Saturdays and Sundays. There's a ton more going on. To find it all, visit the link in our show notes.
It's just so exciting to me that it's not just, these celebrations are not just this little one little thing here, maybe another little thing there. Mm-hmm. We're done. I just love that they're bringing so much more entertainment and so much more unique entertainment that celebrates all of these different people, cultures, styles, whatever you want to say. That it's not just the same thing over and over again, and it's not just half done. I feel like they're really leaning into it, and I think that's really fun. I think it's really exciting, and I think it's really important that they're doing so. My only regret is that we missed we did see one thing. We did get to see the window on Main Street that they did special just for this. It's at the Emporium. If you're looking at the front door of the Emporium that's facing Town Square, it's off to the left, just past where the Aladdin magic window is. So closest window to the firehouse, if that makes sense to anyone. But anyway, so my only regret is that we missed out on more. I didn't know that these other entertainment offerings and celebrations were happening. I knew about the window, so we made sure to check that out, but I'm sad we missed out.
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on at the hotels, too, that I honestly didn't even read earlier when I was writing the script. You can listen to ukulele music nightly and take a complimentary hula lesson on weekends at Trader Sam's. Over at the... if you're an overnight hotel guest at the Grand Californian, you can learn to play the ukulele, make a ribbon lei, or practice the ancient graceful Chinese martial art of Tai Chi.
Very cool.
So cool. Visit the link in our show notes. There's all types of stuff. Disney Parks blog has a lot of stuff linked. I'm glad that they're doing a variety of different cool things.
Well, now through May 31st, Magic Key holders can get a complimentary World of Color magic shot. Magic Key holders can go to the location by Silly Symphony Swings daily to get the shot from 7 p.m. to park close.
Man, we
just missed it.
We just missed this. I think the graphic that they have here, I think it'll be you standing behind with the end World of Color graphic thing is what it looks like in the graphic that they posted. We took part in the magic shot that they had for the electrical parade, and that was really cool. And for those of you who don't know that, it's right in front of It's a Small World before the parade.
I was really excited that was still going on because they really promoted that heavily for the weekend and the week after the parade had returned. So I hadn't heard about it. So I wasn't sure if it was still going on. And we just kind of turned the corner and poof, there it was. So it was really some extra fun magic that we just kind of happened upon, which is what makes Disneyland so dang special.
D23 Star Wars fans should get excited. Star Tours is celebrating its 35th anniversary, and to commemorate this, they are releasing some pins on May 23rd. There will be a Captain RX-24 pin, which features the current DJ and former pilot, a Lightspeed to Endor pin featuring the Star Speeder, and finally a 45th anniversary Star Wars pin featuring Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. Each pin is $12.99 with a maximum of 2 per D23 Gold member.
There's something about the Rex one that I just love. I don't know what it is. He's cute. I like the design of that one. That one's definitely my favorite.
Yeah. These are all pretty cool. So I felt old and surprised that Star Wars is turning 45.
Yeah. Well, Star Tours is 35.
Right, but it was just because I remember when Star Wars turned 30, and now it's 45. So it's just
it's crazy. But these pins, the design on them is really fun. I think they look really nice.
Yeah,
it's a good.
Are you going to try to get them, or are you going to tell Vern about them?
I can let Vern know about them. I've decided I have to with collecting things, with ears, with pins, whatever. I feel like I need to rein it in before it gets crazy. So with pins, I'm trying to be a very, very more selective.
Sure.
And so, like, with these anniversary things, I like getting them if I'm present in the park.
Sure.
For said anniversary. So, like, we just got the Fantasmic 30th.
Right.
Pin because we were in the park for Fantasmic's 30th, even though Fantasmic was not present for Fantasmic's 30th. But that is okay. We forgive you, Murphy.
I took this video. We finally found Wanda, and when we were there for Teresa's wedding, Eon loves Wanda, but there was nothing Wanda in the whole park. Well, Scarlet Witch is hanging out in Avengers Campus now, so poor Teresa had to deal with me because I kept going back through Avengers Campus just waiting for her or Doctor Strange to come out.
Way more time in Avengers Campus than
probably anywhere else in DCA.
Yeah.
So
even Cars Land, which that's sad.
Yeah, so we just kept going. Well, we came out of the Mickey's Philharmagic, and I said, "Oh, I am Peter Tingle." My Peter Tingle was going off.
My Peter Tingle
was going off.
Don't say.
And we went over there, and what was it? She was there. And so, anyway, I said, because she wasn't doing autographs or anything, and I said, "Our exchange student from Moldova loves you. Can you record something for him saying hi or whatever you want?" Like, I didn't care. And she went on for quite a while. I'll post it in the chat. But so his name is Eon, but it sounds kind of like John. So she says John. Well, I showed it to him last night.
She said John?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I showed it to him last night. Last night? I think it was last night. And he just had this grin of like satisfaction. I said, "Let me send it to you now." Because like I had shown it to him and he was just so happy. He was just like, he loves her. Mm-hmm. He freaked out when Max got him a poster of her.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's talking to him, like he was in heaven. And then I felt bad because I got Max the Doctor Strange phone case and it was the wrong size.
Yeah.
He's like,
you know what's so sad is you moved the Pro case out of the way to get the 13.
See, listen, she says John. John. But he about died. So, mission accomplished. Good job, Tag. Which we also got graphics for.
Speaking of fancy commemorative pins, when we were in the parks last week, one of our favorite spectaculars turned 30. Fantasmic debuted on May 13th, 1992 at Disneyland. Over the years, the show has added and subtracted different scenes and elements. Some of those include the 2009 upgrade to digital projection and the current 45-foot-tall dragon known as Murphy. In 2017, new scenes and songs were added, including Aladdin. The show has been performed more than 11,000 times since its debut. Fantasmic returns to the Rivers of America on May 28th.
I wish it would have been there when we were there. I did come home, and yesterday, right before I gave Max his gift, he came down to my office, and asked how the trip was. And I felt like I was trying to explain to him who Garner Holt was.
Oh, sure.
So I said, let me show you the coolest thing he made. And I showed him that part of Fantasmic. And he's like, that is pretty cool. And I'm like, did you see the river caught on fire? And I think that there is something lost on a YouTube video for it. But it's funny because Star Tours is turning 35 and Star Wars was turning 45 and this is turning 30. And for some reason, I feel like it should be older than this because 92 feels like forever for me.
Really?
And I feel like Fantasmic has like always been there.
Yeah, see, I mean, for me, these things have always been there because for my first trip, they had already been there. So, yeah, but
What year were you born?
88.
Oh, yeah. So
and my first trip was in 2000.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to take pictures and at least share it in the Discord. I was at my house a couple weekends ago, my parents' house, and my mom had me go through this like bin of old stuff that was Teresa's stuff. This is very off topic. I'm sorry, but we're going with it. And so I found my first autograph book. So the first park I actually ever went to and visited was Walt Disney World. So I had my Walt Disney World autograph book with all those autographs. And then I found my Disneyland autograph book, which I didn't even realize, but it was, the
40th, I think.
45th.
45th?
2000.
Oh, yeah, 45th. Yep.
So my first trip to the parks was the 45th anniversary. And we should have known that I was going to be a Disney crazy person, a Disneyland crazy person, because little Teresa not only saved her autograph book, she saved her ticket. She saved
That's normal.
Printed fast passes.
That's normal.
But the weird thing was I saved receipts from things that I purchased on my trip. So I had 3 little receipts saved, which I'm actually really, really proud of little Teresa for saving those because now I know the exact dates. And it was July 6th of 2000 was one of my first days in the park. So I actually was almost there for the 45th anniversary birthday by accident on my first ever visit. That was crazy.
So do we have to do like a trip for July 6th? It'll be like the Teresa anniversary.
It's Teresa's anniversary,
going to the park.
There you go. I do remember being there close to my birthday because I remember being upset that I wasn't there for my actual birthday because this was back in the time when like you really only wore the button if it was actually like the day of your birthday, I feel, because they were much more rare. So I remember being sad that I couldn't get a birthday button. It's weird the things you remember, right?
It also blew my mind about Fantasmic 11,000 times.
I see now. I would almost think that should be more, but
on some nights they did 3 times.
3 times?
Some nights. Wow. So they used to do like a 9 o'clock, a 10:30, and like an 11:30 or a 12 show. Yeah, it was when the park was open.
Those cast
late.
members, man, that's a lot. Wow, that's crazy.
They also do sometimes even now if it's like they haven't done it in a while, but they used to do it where if the first 2 shows were busy enough, they'd add a 3rd show.
Jeepers, that's nuts. So as far as what the park was like this year on the 13th, there was a commemorative pin. That was all the fun merch that we had. It was a
cool
pin. It was cool. I also liked the cardboard backer it was on. I was chatting with the cast member at the, I don't remember what the pin store is called, something Century Records or something.
20th Century Music?
Yep, 20th Century Music on Main Street. That's the pin store on Main Street there. I was chatting with her and she's like, oh yeah, these have been selling like crazy. Like if you see them, you grab it because this isn't going to last long. So I don't know if they still
are available. Which is funny because she said that. And as she said that, I like looked over and they had some on the rack and then they had like a box with a ton of them. And I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I was a little sad because for Pirates, I mean, mind you, it was the 55th. They had the pins, but then they also had a couple different shirts as well. So there's a little bit larger of a merch line. I just feel really bad for these attractions that are celebrating such big and milestone anniversaries while they're closed. We had our fingers, toes, our feet, arms, legs, and eyes crossed, hoping beyond hope that maybe there'd be some magic that something would happen on the river. We knew the full show wasn't going to happen, but we were hoping something on the Rivers of America would happen on the 13th to like commemorate the anniversary. They could have had like the monkeys go by, like the Fantasmic monkeys
They
go
could have
by
had
on
anything.
the raft, or just played some of the music or something. But
Could have just brought Murphy out of her den and let her chill there.
That would have been fine if Murphy was just hanging out.
I will say,
it was very, very cool.
I think that they're going to have Fantasmic merch when it comes back.
That's probably it. Though, I'm surprised with the 30th being its 30th anniversary being so close to when they're reopening it. I'm almost surprised that they didn't reopen it for the 30th anniversary, especially since the 30th anniversary fell on a Friday. That would have been perfect.
Well, did you see? It's weird, but I'm pretty sure that it comes back on Saturday.
Oh, you're right. It is a Saturday. The 28th is a Saturday.
Yeah. So I'm wondering this. I just literally pulled this out of my head. Okay, out of the air. Do you think they did that as like a nice perk for the higher up key holders, because the highest tier is allowed in that Saturday, but not everybody else?
Maybe.
Because it'd be like, well, look at what we did.
No, you know what? The 27th, the Star Wars party.
Oh, that's in Disneyland?
Mm-hmm. The last Star Wars night is on the 27th, so that's why it's a Saturday.
Well, that got all crazy for them, didn't it?
That got all wonky there.
Maybe they should do Fantasmic for the Star Wars party. When the Mark Twain comes out, they have all the Star Wars people on it. By the way, I talked to James about Hyperspace Mountain today, and he has never been on it, and I kind of described it to him. And he was like, one of these days when we're there, it'll coincide.
Yeah, it's so much more fun.
Well, last week, Disneyland teased something returning after long last to Disney California Adventure. The red car trolley should be traveling on the tracks on Buena Vista Street and down through Hollywoodland. No exact date was mentioned, but it should return before the full swing of summer.
The one thing I'm really hoping for when the red car trolley comes back is that fun little show comes
the Red
back.
Car Trolley Boys or whatever it was,
or like the News Boys or something, with a suitcase and a dream.
Yeah.
Such a fun catch. It's a very catchy song. It's stuck in my head now too. Yeah. So I really hope that will be that will be returning soon as well. But it'll be nice to have some of that energy, that movement, and some of that charm back to Buena Vista Street.
Well, and just something that people can do. I really liked the thing. They had installed that induction charging and stuff, and they haven't done anything with it yet. So it'll be cool. I'm excited.
Fans of Trader Sam's may be excited with updates to the menu at the popular restaurant at the Disneyland Hotel. Takoyaki, which is fried octopus cakes drizzled with unagi and togarashi aioli and topped with green onions and bonito flakes. This can be purchased for $18 and is also available to order at the Tongariro Terrace.
So I like this type of food. I am not sure. I feel like I would try this.
I think it makes, this was the perfect place to have this dish, if that makes any sense. I feel like it fits in well with the atmosphere. It's unique. That's what I like about Tongariro Terrace in Trader Sam's, is it's different. Yes, you can get a cheeseburger, but they also have the poke bowl, they have ramen, they have more unique items to that location. And I think that's really fun, because they could have just had, well, here's your chicken strips, and here's your cheeseburger, and here's, the more generic kind of food. So I think it's fun to have these offerings as well.
I love unagi, and so we'll have to try this whenever we're there. if it's still there. I think it's like a menu item, so I think it'll be there.
It's on the menu. So they updated the menu. Some price changes happened during this as well. I don't remember what they are exactly right now, but check out the Disneyland app and take a look to see if some of your favorite items may have changed. I want to say
I'm going to look and see if my poke bowl changed.
Everything I saw was only by $1, maybe $2, nothing major. But this new menu item, these fried octopus cakes, did replace the panko crusted shrimp.
Oh, okay. The poke bowls were $18 before, weren't they?
I don't remember.
Well, $18 still.
Yeah, maybe they were 16 or 17, and like I said, it went up maybe $1.
Ooh, I think the poo-poo platter went up. Was the poo-poo platter $22 before?
Maybe I think it was 21.
Oh, okay. Well,
why
I love eating there.
Why do we know what the prices of these?
Because we ate there a few times. It's really good.
No, but like, why am I like, no, I think it was 21. I'm like, why do I know that?
Well, it seems like the only constant in Avengers Campus is change. Yet another character from the Marvel Universe will be on site to visit with guests. Miss Marvel, the title character from the upcoming Disney Plus show, should be in the land around the time the show premieres on June 8th.
I just love that they're doing this. We've talked about this so much with each time they bring one of these new characters in the parks right away. I just think it's so fun that they're staying so up to date with the characters in the parks. And they've been doing a great job with it for Marvel stuff in Avengers Campus, but they've also been extending it out to other IPs for other things like Mirabelle. We met Mirabelle before we got to see Encanto. I think that's really fun and exciting. It felt like for a while there'd be some really popular, a couple popular movies, and they'd only really just stick to one.
Right.
Looking at you, Frozen, because I feel like they just went all in on just maybe one IP, even though there was several to have chosen from. So I think it's really fun, really cool that everybody gets to come hang out at Disneyland now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about Miss Marvel. I'm excited to watch the show because it looks like it's like a younger character. Mm-hmm. And it seems like a cool backstory and everything, so I'm excited for this one. I mean, I'm very excited for Obi-Wan later, too, but it's nice that they keep bringing these characters. It's good synergy. They used to do this stuff all the time. The thing that I'm excited for is I'm hoping that they will add more stuff and swap out like things like the It's a Small World projection show and stuff more often, too, with some of the shows.
Celebrate Soulfully is returning in honor of Black Music Month. The Philly Phonics, an a cappella group, will be performing on stage in front of Carthay Circle, where the Five and Dime also perform. In downtown Disney, the former ESPN Zone building will house The Soul of Jazz, an American Adventure. This is a traveling exhibit which features Joe Gardner from Pixar's Soul and takes guests through the history of American jazz. The exhibit will run from June 1st through July 4th, and admission is free.
I really wish they, maybe this is a good thing for the ESPN Zone because we had the Mickey thing before and we had this. Maybe this should be a museum that they constantly swap stuff out. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because right now it literally just sits there and advertises a bunch of stuff. So I want it to be something. This is really cool. For Black Music Month, there's a ton of stuff I would love to watch, to go and see this exhibit of the Soul of Jazz. And you kind of, for kids who maybe aren't as interested in things like museums, you've got a character from a Pixar movie that maybe would be really interesting.
That's a good point.
Was it a Pixar movie?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. Yeah. So I think it'd be really cool. And like I said, anytime they can put something in this building, I'm for it.
Yeah, nope, I agree. I think this is a great use of space, especially for the ESPN building. And the thing that's really cool about this is I just got all sorts of excited that we have all this entertainment coming all this entertainment happening now for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. But that's all kind of either happening in downtown Disney or the hotels. So this is fun that we have special entertainment in the parks to celebrate Black History Music Month, in addition to the exhibit coming to the ESPN Zone building. That's cool, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, fans of Encanto, which I will have to say Teresa and I are, because on the plane ride home, we both watched it.
We did.
And today, while I was in my office, I had the soundtrack playing. So it's just there and never going away.
And we watched the We Don't Talk About Bruno show twice on It's a Small World facade. If you haven't...
We're going to talk more about it later.
If you haven't experienced it, highly recommend it. It was so fun.
Definitely. The videos on YouTube don't do it justice.
No, yeah.
Well, fans of Encanto have another reason to celebrate. Mirabelle will be returning to Disney California Adventure for meet and greets at the Paradise Gardens Park. Mirabelle was last seen in Frontierland after originally starting out in DCA at the same location that she's now returning to. In addition to meeting Mirabelle, guests can also catch the We Don't Talk About Bruno projection show on the facade of It's a Small World multiple times per night.
So when I was looking through the news and saw this actually kind of made me pause, and I was trying to think, okay, so Mirabelle moved out of the Paradise Garden Park area because of the Food and Wine Festival. They had something move in specific to the Food and Wine Festival in that space instead, which makes total sense. That's why she got moved over to Frontierland. She has been a wildly popular meet and greet. The two times that we've been in the parks this year that she's been at that location, the line has been nuts.
Yeah.
Like, the line starts forming and building long before you even see Mirabelle on stage. People are just so excited to meet her, which is fantastic because she's such a fun character. So part of me is wondering if, because she is still so very, very popular and she's drawing such a crowd, does it make just more sense to put her in the Paradise Garden Park because it's kind of off the beaten path?
Yep.
It's shaded.
There's room.
I feel like you've got more space back there as compared to Frontierland. That's a really fun stage, but you're out in the sun and you're kind of having to line up in a walkway and it's a little bit in the way there.
Yeah, because you've got Rancho there, you've got Big Thunder Mountain there. It's already three paths coming together. Yeah. Golden Horseshoes there. So, there's a lot going on right there. So I agree with you. I think this is good. Although, if people are so excited about Encanto, I think Disney should start thinking about something to go in the Hyperion.
Maybe that's another reason she's going back over to DCA. Wouldn't that be amazing? That'd be such
cool.
That'd be such a fun stage show.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my gosh. I think you're onto something.
Maybe.
Here.
I've heard that Encanto has been extremely popular for them.
And we've heard rumor, this is all just like us bouncing stuff off each other, so bear with us a minute. Yeah. We've heard rumor that Lin-Manuel Miranda has been saying and pushing for an Encanto attraction. Technically, a theater show would be an attraction.
Sure. I just wonder if it was going to be like a traditional attraction, like a ride. Like, where would you even put that?
It'd be so much easier for them to do the stage show. Yeah. And
people love the music.
Come on. It's not like Lynn doesn't have experience
with stage shows.
Doing a Broadway stage show.
They should do, I don't even know how you would do this. Well, the house. The house is a character.
Yeah.
So like the stage was a character in Hamilton, they could make the stage, the house, a character.
I like this.
Because most of the story happens in the house, right? So
Disney, I hope you're listening. This is a fantastic idea.
They can use some of the cool, because they have those giant, massive, cool screens. They can do that because you've got the doors that have to like animate and do different things.
There's so much potential here. So much potential.
Disney, I'm telling you, you can have our idea. We won't.
Yep.
It's free. Take it.
It's fine.
Just build it.
We just want to watch it. That's all.
Yep.
June is just a busy month for celebrations. Members and allies of the LGBTQIA plus community celebrate Pride every June. With all the controversy about the Florida Don't Say Gay bill and Disney, the company has decided from now until June 30th, all profits from any Pride merchandise will be donated to LGBTQIA plus organizations. Previously, only a small percentage of the profit went to support LGBTQIA plus youth and families. Weekly tiers can visit the link in the show notes to see what organizations are benefiting from this donation.
I was so happy because I bought 2 Pride pins while we were there.
You didn't even know about all this amazing stuff.
One for me, one for one of our previous exchange students, and I was so excited that they were donating 100% of the profits for these organizations. So in the United States, GLSEN, P-Flag, the Trevor Project, Zebra Coalition, Los Angeles LGBT Center, the LGBT Center Orange County, the San Francisco LGBT Center, and Ali Forney Center. Profits from other regions will go to support local charities in those countries. They even have a website now. You can go and look at this for the Walt Disney Company. It's twdcpridecollection.com, and that stands for the Walt Disney Company Pride Collection.
The other really fun thing, too, is that the collection includes the collection was designed by members of the community as well as allies. I think that's also a really special thing to note in this as well.
Yeah. They're a cool set of stuff. There's some shirts and everything and some different Marvel and everything.
Ears. I'm a little sad because we never went into Star Trader when we were there. And it looks like a lot of this merchandise is actually available at the Star Trader. I do see that they have photos of it in the Clothiers and it looks like the Emporium. However, these were not out and on display when we were there. So I'm thinking we missed out and most of it was in Star Traders. Or we just barely missed it. We saw lots of pins though.
Yeah. So there was a Mickey pin, and then there was one that had like a rainbow thing and a castle at the end that I really liked. I'm looking at this article thinking that maybe they would have the pictures of the pins, but I haven't.
It's somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere because there's a ton of really cool stuff.
They have a lot of Marvel Pride stuff, which is even like cooler. Oh, look, a hoodie, Teresa. Scrunchies?
scrunchie.
You don't wear scrunchies, though.
No, I don't wear scrunchies.
Pride
but
tumbler.
there was new Pride ears, too. Oh, man, there was a dog collar and a leash. Totally missed out for Luna
Ooh,
and
a
Piper.
backpack.
It's fun. It's the rainbow Mickey spectrum as we had seen it before, but they blended it for a lot of stuff this time instead of having it be it had like the lines before, I guess would be a good way of saying it. A lot of these, though, they kind of blend into each other. I think it's really nice.
James would have loved this shirt.
That's a very cool shirt. So there's a Star Wars shirt that has, it's black or
Gray.
dark gray.
Yeah.
And it has it combined the two logos. So it combined the
Rebel and the Empire.
and the Empire logos into one circle. That's cool.
That is cool. Man, I wish we would have gone into Star Traders now, because...
Well, who knows? Maybe.
look at this one.
maybe
Belong, believe, be proud.
one of your pins say that too.
Yeah, but it was Star Wars, so James would have loved it.
What? Wait. What would
Ooh.
BB-8 doing?
What?
Oh, BB-8. So there's anything and everything you could possibly think, hope, and dream for is within this collection.
They have
It's crazy.
a Pixar one.
So cool. So if any weekly tiers are in the parks and get to go check this merchandise out, please let us know, because, man, it looks amazing.
Psst, avast there. Sure, you come to the proper place, but keep a weather eye open, mates, and hold on tight. With both hands, if you please. There be squalls ahead, and James and Vern waiting for them what don't answer correctly.
Welcome to Trivia Land. How we feeling tonight?
I think I'm feeling fresh since we just came back from the park.
I was going to say, you just got back from Disney. You should be all full of all the answers and ready to take this on.
We'll see.
All right. Well, let's hop right into it. We got a bunch of really good listener-submitted questions. I'm excited to see how you do.
All right.
Your first listener-submitted question tonight from listener Stephen S. This comedian/actor replaced Wally Bogue at the Golden Horseshoe when he retired in 1982.
I feel like I should know this, and I'm sure it's rattling around in my brain somewhere, but I'm stumped.
You see, I'm not sure either. I want to say, because afterwards, I want to say it was like Billy Hill the Hillbilly, so my thought would be like Billy Hill, but I wonder if he's looking for the actor's name, but I will go with Billy Hill.
So Billy Hill and Stumped. Are those your final answers?
Yes. It's
Okay.
a new act, Stumped.
Stumped.
All right. Stage name, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Your second question from listener Donna S. In creating the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, whose decision was it to put in a second waterfall drop?
There was a decision. I just thought it was part of the plan.
So we know X did.
Even
the
if it was
lights.
part of the plan, it was still somebody's decision.
Well,
That's
yes,
true.
yes,
That's true.
yes.
So we know X did the script.
I'm going to say the guy who did, the gags.
Yep,
Is
that
that
was
Mark
Mark
Davis?
Davis,
Mark
yep.
Davis, okay.
I don't know who actually did the ride layout, but I'm gonna say Walt. That Walt chose to have a second waterfall.
Yeah, I feel like Walt's the easy answer, but that could also be I feel like it's one way, either Vern expects us to pick Walt or he wants us to think it was Walt. It's like this weird thing. Also, with the second drop, I feel like it was just a necessity to get it down where it needed to go, but I guess not.
They could have just done one.
I suppose
one
that's
swoop.
true. That's true. So I guess Walt for Teresa and Mark Davis for me.
All right. Final answers.
Yes.
Okay. Your third regular round question from listener Lee S. On the farm where Walt Disney lived in Marceline, Missouri, there was a large cottonwood tree where young Walt would daydream and draw animals. When Walt visited Marceline in 1956, he was amazed the tree was still standing and identified it as his dreaming tree. Unfortunately, the tree fell in 2015. However, tree saplings were grown from seeds that were harvested from Walt's dreaming tree. One was planted on the Marceline farm where Walt lived, one is in a hidden location, and one was planted in Disneyland's Frontierland in one of the following locations. Was it planted at A, Tom Sawyer Island, near the Old Mill, B, in the Lakota Indian Village on the Rivers of America, or C, near the Mark Twain's dock on the Big Thunder mountainside.
Ooh.
Now, see, first of all, I think it's funny that one of them is like planted in a secret location.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to have Walt's Dreaming Tree like in Toontown as part of like that picnicky area.
100%
That'd be cool.
they are.
Is that what it is?
That's what the tree is.
Okay, that's what I thought. Something was tickling my brain.
Yeah, that's what the tree is.
I'm gonna say
Not a real tree. It's the like imagineered tree.
I'm gonna say by the Mark Twain dock.
I think it's interesting, and I think it's a smart choice. Rivers of America, right? That makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
But I just have this gut feeling that it's Tom Sawyer Island.
All right, so we're going with Mark Twain and Tom Sawyer Island?
Yes.
All right, final answers.
Yes.
Okay. And your fourth and final regular round question, submitted by listener Perry G. In the queue for Big Thunder Mountain, there is a signpost with 6 locations posted. The sign at the top points to Rainbow Ridge, with a distance of 50 feet away. Can you name at least 2 of the other locations on this signpost?
So I feel like this all points to Big Thunders, right?
Yep. They had different attractions at the different parks.
So I think Thunder Mesa's in Paris.
And this is going to seem really obvious, but I think one of them says Big Thunder Mountain. I really do.
See, the only reason I don't think it says Big Thunder is because they have Rainbow Ridge, and that seems close, but I guess the mountain is different.
Yeah, the mountain is different, and it could be the one in Florida it's pointing to, and not the one that's like right behind it. Yeah, I'm thinking.
I can't think of any other names of where they're at, though. Other places. So I'm just going to have to stick with
just stuff that's right there that we're not thinking about.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with yours. I'm going to do Thunder Mesa and Big Thunder Mountain. Because lack of another.
All right, Thunder Mesa and Big Thunder Mountain. Final answers?
Yes.
Okay. And for bonus points tonight, can you name the correct distance to each location on this signpost?
Oh, my goodness.
No, I cannot.
No bonus points
terrible
tonight.
bonus question.
I think you mean an amazing bonus question, because it definitely stumped us.
Well, I thought that like bonus questions were supposed to be like easy give us because we've done so terrible in other things.
I always think bonus
If you
questions
knew the
are
signpost
challenges.
really well, this would be a gimme.
That's true.
I don't know how far it is to things. Like, I don't know how
what
many
the
miles it is between there and Thunder Mesa.
Yep, that's what the signpost is for. It informs you.
So maybe
Yes.
you're right, because you were telling me that you think maybe it's like stuff that's closer and not the other parks.
Could be, yeah.
So that maybe would be easier than how many thousands of miles to Paris.
No. It definitely has, like, there's 4-digit numbers on the signpost. I don't know what they are.
Okay.
I was paying attention to all sorts of things in the Big Thunder queue when we were there this past trip, but
Not that.
we weren't far enough back for that signpost, and we weren't held at it long enough for me to like really get to study it. So that is one of the few things I didn't really get a good look at. Stumped.
All right, so that's your final answer on the bonus
Stumped.
question?
Yes.
You had 2 stumped answers.
I know, I'm not doing so great this week.
Well,
Apparently going to Disneyland doesn't help us, Fern.
No.
Huh. All right. Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tag and Teresa did? Stick around until after the discussion topic, and we'll all find out.
Well, for this week, for our discussion topic, we are coming to you live, as we normally do, from the Disneyland Resort when we are here.
Yeah, well, yep. We're sitting on the Rivers of America at Pelican's Landing. We're actually watching a Tom Sawyer raft park. It's full. Like, Tom Sawyer's Island is apparently the place to be right now. We were actually thinking of recording over there, but we almost were just short on time, so we would have had to make it very quick. But I was also just surprised at how many people have been... Each boat has been full.
Apparently, it's the place to go.
That's good, though. That's good. And, you know, one reason that it's very exciting to be on Tom Sawyer Island today, maybe not everybody knows this, but I would be excited to be there now, is that today, as we're recording, is the 30th anniversary for Fantasmic. So, could, like, I guess, kneel on the ground and try and talk to Murphy in her den. That's as close as we're going to get, but...
Just, and so you guys are aware, it is Friday, May 13th, as we record this. So, that is the anniversary of Fantasmic.
We also
so pretty
decided
fun.
that since it's Friday the 13th, we're going to have to make sure we take a trip in the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yes.
just because of the date.
Definitely. And it's a warm one. It's as we're recording this, it's 88 degrees out right now. Although us being from the Midwest, it's not too bad because we don't have the humidity we're dealing with. So it's a little warm, but not terrible.
So we got here on Wednesday evening. I want to say we entered the park at about 7 p.m. And our first priority was dinner because we had really not eaten much all day. So we actually headed back to Hungrybear, which is definitely a first, us coming into the park and going right to Hungrybear. I got the fried green tomato sandwich and the seasonal peach slush. Both were delicious.
I finally ordered my lobster roll. I do have to say I was very excited for this. However, I don't know if it's always this way, but the lobster roll I got did not have a ton of lobster in it. I got cuties on the side. It tasted fine. It just didn't have the amount of lobster that I wanted. I went back and joined Teresa at Hungrybear. I realized I forgot to buy a drink, so I got in line to buy a drink. And I realized that they had the cookies and cream funnel cake, so I also ordered one of those. This thing was massive, but not too rich, actually. It was a chocolate funnel cake with some Oreo crumbles on top, with some amazing whipped cream, a scoop of cookies and cream ice cream, and some animal crackers. You loved it. It was
a lot. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. It wasn't like I don't need to get it again.
Sure.
It wasn't like I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. How do I want to say it? It's not something I need every time. It's not like a Dole Whip.
Sure. I mean, not a lot of things are Dole Whip.
No, but it was enjoyable. Definitely, if you decide to try this, you're going to want to share with probably more than one person, because it was, like Tag mentioned, it was quite a lot. But I was really surprised because I thought I was just going to have a bite, maybe two, and be done, because it looked like it was going to be very rich.
Yes.
It wasn't, though. So that was the kind of surprising thing, and I don't understand why it wasn't, but it wasn't. So that was great. I really enjoyed my fried green tomato sandwich. It was
huge.
Very large. I got an order of onion. I chose a side of onion rings for it. It could have been fries, the cuties, or onion rings. I decided to try the onion rings at Hungrybear. They were good, but the sandwich was really, really yummy. The only downfall, I don't know if it sat in the window a little bit too long or what, but the sandwich itself was cold, and I was expecting it to be hot because it was a thick toasted bread, and it was also a deep fried slices of fried green tomatoes. The flavors, though, on it were wonderful, but yeah, it wasn't hot like I was expecting. So I'm not sure, like I said, if that was just our experience or if it served kind of on the cooler side.
Yeah, I ended up having a little bit of Teresa's because, again, my lobster roll was not large.
Yeah, you had half of it.
Yeah, it was very good. The onion rings were also, I thought, very good. They weren't like the best onion rings I've ever had, but I thought they were really good. Hungrybear apparently knows how to fry things very well. Let's just say that.
The peach slush, though, was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I felt like if you had that in like midday in the heat, it would just be incredible. So
and yet we did not have it at all during the heat this trip.
Highly, highly, highly recommend that if you're going to be here while that seasonal offering is still available. So after that, we decided to take a trip on over to the Haunted Mansion. So the Haunted Mansion was actually our first attraction this trip.
Not a bad choice.
No, it wasn't a bad choice. And then past that, I think we decided to head over and catch some of the Fantasyland rides. We had brilliant timing. We got in line to ride Alice, and it just so happened that the first showing of the Main Street Electrical Parade was just starting as we got into line.
Great timing, great timing. The line moved slow enough that we basically saw almost the entire parade from the line. Mm-hmm. As we were loading, Elliot was coming and was right there.
Yeah, going right past the load area, so it was wonderful. We
got through the attraction, and when we came out to the elevated portion, the brand new finale float was coming by. So I was mad, like a mad person, taking photos of this thing, which was amazing. Great way to see that float for the first time.
We couldn't have tried to time that better. The timing on that was just perfect. Past that, we decided to do a couple more rides over in Fantasyland. So we hopped and took a wild ride with Mr. Toad. We then went over to Snow White's Enchanted Wish, followed by Pinocchio, and then we decided to make our way back to Small World to catch the second showing of the Main Street Electrical Parade.
The We Don't Talk About Bruno show is back there now. One thing that videos that we had seen did not show off was there's a lot of lighting that happens outside of just It's a small world. So they did some cool lighting effects. They did this cool thunder clap effect when lightning was coming out and stuff. Amazing.
Yeah, so we were standing, and we had secured a spot to watch the parade up in the elevated terraced view of the Small World Mall area, and that's where we really noticed all the extra lights. We were lucky because there wasn't very many people lined up and waiting for the parade, so we could watch the Bruno projection show. Really, we could see it really well from where we were. There wasn't a ton of people in between us and Small World, but that's really where they lit up the trees in that area, different colors. Like Tag mentioned, they had the lightning flashes. Very, very cool. While we sat and waited for the parade, we did grab a couple of snacks. So I walked over to the popcorn cart because I really wanted to try the special blend of popcorn for the Main Street Electrical Parade's 50th. It's called the Electric Sweet and Salty Popcorn. It was colorful sweet kettle corn combined with butter-flavored popcorn. It was shockingly delicious. I was hooked.
Are you saying shockingly because of the Electrical Parade?
I didn't mean to, but that works, yeah. It was really, I'm a big sweet and salty fan, so this was, like, right up my alley, perfect. It was fun and colorful. The popcorn was fresh, and, like, the colorful sweet pieces, the kettle corn pieces, were nice and, like, crunchy. They weren't, sometimes, you know how they get soggy and like, stick in your teeth? Not at all the problem.
I will say that Teresa did realize that you should shake it around or something, because in the beginning she thought there wasn't much of the caramel corn, but then later there was a lot of the caramel corn towards the bottom.
Yeah, it was just, I think, how it was fell when it scooped. It wasn't, I don't think you need to mix it around. That's just, when I first got it, I was like, oh, there's not that many color pieces. And then I ate the top layer. I'm like, there's a lot of color pieces. So, yeah, it was just how it was, just the mix that I got, I suppose.
And I will say, so we ended up watching the Electrical Parade back at this parade viewing area, and I will tell you that is a great spot. We've talked about it before.
Amazing.
We've talked about it before, that it's a great spot for the fireworks, but it is a wonderful spot for the parade because it's elevated. We were able to see the floats basically come right at us and go by us. Yeah. And even though there was a couple rows of people between us and the parade, we were in the elevated sections. We were kind of looking over everybody. So it was amazing.
It was, it was perfect. And the parade was coming at us and then kind of like turned in front of us. It was, perfect spot to watch.
So what were your thoughts? I know you're such a fan of the Electrical Parade.
The other thing, too, I was going to say about the area is just it wasn't very crowded. So this was the second show for the night, but it was also the end of the parade route. So it was a really good place to go grab a seat, because there were people that walked up 5 minutes before the parade came up and got like front row seats. So if you're not someone that needs to see the Main Street Electrical Parade like on Main Street or on the hub, I would definitely recommend going back to the Small World area, especially for the second showing, because I think it just got a little late for some people, so they didn't want to stay out that late, which is totally understandable.
Splash Mountain sounds like somebody's being murdered.
I wasn't sure if that was Splash Mountain or if that was screams coming from the mansion. It was interesting.
Mansion's over there. It was coming definitely from Splash Mountain there.
So,
what did you think, though? You were so excited for the parade.
Yep, that's where I was just getting to. So the parade itself looked fantastic. It had been a couple of years, of course, so we were talking about stuff like, did this used to do that? Did that used to do this? So
we had a lot of
we're going to have to watch a video from the last time we saw it to like jog our memory to know if some of the things we thought may have been new, if they actually were new or not. But yeah, that finale float is just outstanding. It was just beautiful. Pictures just don't do it justice.
I will agree with that. I will say, so my overall opinion, a lot of the parade's pretty much the same, which was fine. The music seems like it's been remixed or something.
Yeah, it has.
And for me, being somebody who's watched the parade forever, it was, I saw it in the 90s and stuff. When you're really familiar with something and they change it, something just seems off about it, and that's kind of what it was for me. Now, I will say the additions that they made, one of the additions they made a few years ago that I actually found myself really enjoying this time, oddly enough, was the Tinkerbell Float, because the Tinkerbell was doing this cool thing where she would interact with it, kind of, and it would light up, and I really enjoyed that. Obviously, I enjoyed all the other interactive things that kind of come along with it, like Alice in Wonderland on the thing, or with Elliot and disappearing and all that stuff. The finale float I thought was also great. I thought that the music that they did with that was amazing. And Teresa and I played the game of, okay, what song is this? What song is this?
It was fun, yeah, because they did different versions of the storybooks, like movie songs, but done to like kind of small world sounding, but also Main Street Electrical Parade sounding. So it was fun to, kind of, you had to listen maybe for a couple of seconds before you'd be like, oh, that's, Welcome to the Family Madrigal, or, whatever.
Right.
So it was really cool. It was really cool. We're excited. We're going to watch it again tonight because we want to make sure that we catch the other side of it so that we can check out the other characters on the finale float and
the fireworks.
Get a good look at them as well. Oh, yeah, of course, the fireworks.
So after the parade, we just realized it had been a very long day for us. So we decided to head on back to the hotel. Once again, we're staying at the Howard Johnson Hotel, which is amazing. They do have this cool retro future room that they've been promoting pretty heavily, but it's not available till August. So we're really excited to see more stuff about that. This room looks amazing. It looks like House of the Future. But as always, great stay at the Hojo. The staff there is always really great. Super easy to walk to and from. Actually, Teresa will probably talk about it a little bit. She actually went back to the room for a break on our second day. Super convenient. So how did we start off? We did rope drop.
We did. We rope drop on the second day, and we did something different. We decided to go right, and we rope dropped Hyperspace Mountain, which is back for a limited time, as you all know. I would suggest, if Hyperspace Mountain is on your to-do list in your month of May trip, rope dropping it is kind of the way to go. I think even though there was a bunch of people that also had the same idea, it still probably was only a 10-minute wait for us to get on. And we've been seeing wait times, kind of hovering around an hour because it is such a popular attraction. So it worked out super, super well. I was a little disappointed. There's quite a few guests that decided they needed to run back there. So kudos to the cast members that had to kind of step in and tell these people, most of them adults, hey, no running,
right.
That kind of stuff. We know you're excited, but we want you to be safe, no running. So
we're all getting there. Even, that ride has such an amount of capacity that you're not going to be waiting very long.
They were pumping people through,
they
too.
Were.
They were very, very efficient.
I think I've been on Hyperspace Mountain before, but I honestly couldn't recall for 100% certainty that I had been. I really enjoyed it. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't had it, but there is a prop during one part of the ride.
It's not a prop.
Is it a projection?
Yeah.
It looks like it was a physical thing.
Yeah, no, it's a projection. It's a screen.
Well, there's a thing that looks like a prop that apparently is a screen in the middle of this attraction that I was surprised by and was very like, what was that craziness?
Yeah.
So I thought it was fun. It does, with this overlay, it does make it seem like the attraction is fast, like not speed faster, but like it finishes faster for some reason.
There's things to look at, and there's action and like, oh wow, all that kind of stuff. So there's more interaction, I guess.
It's a good overlay.
Yeah, it's a really, really great overlay. It's like perfect, really, honestly. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas is to the Haunted Mansion. They just go so well together, I'd say. So after that, we tried to go to the Matterhorn, but unfortunately the Matterhorn was down right away in the morning, so we had to skip that. We went back to Small World of all places, decided to take a spin on the rivers before the waits got too long. We basically walked on. We did. We almost had our own boat. Everybody else basically had our own boat, but had their own boats when they were coming in from unloading. So it was apparently Small World's not like overly popular or in the mornings, or the capacity is just so high on it, and they just had so many boats that they just had to keep, they couldn't wait to fill boats because you had to keep the boats moving kind of thing. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Fun as always. When we watched the electrical parade the night before, they were doing a lot of crane work in Toontown too, which was crazy. So they were doing some of that stuff at night, I think, to kind of try to keep the disruption during the park day down. So I did want to mention that we did see some of that, which was pretty cool. I think, after that we go get your churro?
Nope, we went back to the Matterhorn after that.
Oh, it was back up, that's right.
Yep, we were able to take a spin. The exciting thing about our trip around the mountain was we were on the Tomorrowland side, and we were able to catch glimpses of them refilling the sub lagoon.
Yes.
So that was really, really exciting.
It's got to be coming soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, so the subs have been down prior. They haven't been open since the shutdown for COVID. Yeah. So it's going to take some time to get cast members retrained, recertified, all that good stuff before it does reopen. So even though it looks like it could be any day now and it could be tomorrow, they still have to go through and make sure everybody knows how to operate the attraction and such.
Yeah. It was cool to see it being filled, though, because it's been empty for so long. And We usually on the Matterhorn we don't sit in the back. I sat all the way back. It's a little wild back there. You get whipped around all crazy and stuff like that. I think Teresa was laughing at me because I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
I don't think you understood. I tried to warn you, but I don't think you quite understood what I meant when I was like, oh, you get whipped around back there.
And you do.
You do.
You know what was weird, though, was when we did the splashdown at the end, the guy that was in the first car, he got soaked on the Matterhorn. I don't understand what happened there. It was like a mini Splash Mountain. It was crazy.
That's the Tomorrowland side. I feel like I always get, if I'm in the front seat on the Tomorrowland side, I always get pretty wet.
Crazy.
Fantasyland side? No, but yeah, the Tomorrowland side, yes. So after that, we decided to get breakfast, loose air quotes. It was definitely a Disney breakfast. Tag really wanted a churro, and I really wanted to try the blueberry looks good on you churro. We went and picked both of those up at the churro cart near Sleeping Beauty Castle. So I got the blueberry looks good on you churro, and then I also added on the blueberry cheesecake dipping sauce. And let me tell you, I did not regret that. I did not regret that choice one bit. So the churro itself, very good. The sugar that's on it is blue, so beware your tongue and lips will change colors. But there is a hint of blueberry flavor to the sugar, the blueberry sugaring, which was a surprise because I had read other reviews saying that they didn't feel like the churro itself tasted like blueberry. They just thought it was blue
did, though. I
sugared.
tasted a bite of it.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, that blueberry cheesecake dipping sauce, it was like a mini blueberry cheesecake in a cup.
It was.
They should give you spoons so that when you're finished eating your churro, you can still like finish the rest of that cheesecake.
And why do you say that, Teresa?
So good. I say that because I like finished my churro and still wanted more of this. Wanted to finish the dipping sauce, so I'm licking it out of the little cup. And I look up and here's Princess Aurora coming towards me. I'm like, wow, that's really
with your blue lips too. It gets your lips blue.
Really ladylike and really classy. Here I am licking out this blueberry goo, but it was delicious.
It was delicious.
I have no regrets.
I would even say that if you wanted a regular churro and wanted to get this dipping sauce, it's good with a regular churro too. It was pretty good.
You, just eat it with a spoon. You don't even need a churro. Just go get the little dipping cup.
Just buy like 3 or 4 of the dipping cups and get a spoon.
Exactly. After that, to go ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh yes, great as always. Love Big Thunder. Again,
oh wait, it was only like a 30-minute wait.
Yeah. We ended up having the same kind of weirdness that has been off and on for a while now, which is the effects in that last room are kind of off and on.
Everything worked except for the smoke.
Yep, exactly.
So it wasn't too bad. After that, we decided to go be kind of like peek and see what we could see because we were kind of checking out the construction work on the tree house and also trying to see if there were any cracks in the fence to kind of peek down in to see what was going on with the Pirates queue. We were kind of weirdos. There were some like holes in the fence, so we like, and they were of course towards the bottom.
We were reporting on the construction.
So anyways, we kind of like stuck our phones down there to take pictures to see what we could see. Very excited about the trees, though. I mean, you can see the trees over top of the construction walls. I'm actually looking at them right now. But it still looks like it's pretty torn up back there.
Yeah.
For the tree house, the only thing you can really see is that they have taken, of course, the rope bridge down. But it does seem like the trunk that was in the middle that had the staircase, that feels like it's lower. So they've taken some of that down.
That'll be gone soon.
Yeah.
So we decided to go back to Galaxy's Edge because Teresa wanted to try the, she wanted to have again the Black Calf Cold Brew, correct?
Yep.
Back at Docky Bay 7. They didn't open until, 10:30?
10:30, yep.
So I wanted to try the special item that they have back there. The Ishi Tib-style pasta with braised beef bantha, which is a pork pot roast with coconut curry sauce, pasta, and mixed vegetables. This is $19, and I thought it was really good. However, I don't know necessarily if it was worth $19. The thing that Teresa had, which she will talk about here in a second, she's had it before, I actually thought was just as good, maybe if not even better.
Gosh, it's
and
delicious.
It's less money. So what did you have?
Yeah, so I had the Felucian Kefta and Hummus Garden Spread, which is impossible meatballs, herb hummus, tomato cucumber relish with some slices of pita. It's so delicious. I like to kind of build little almost sandwiches and have like part of the meatball with the hummus spread and the relish kind of all together. I think that's
good. How you're supposed to have it.
It's refreshing, very, very good. And then of course, like Tag mentioned, I did have to get the Black Calf Cold Brew because it's just yummy. I've been trying, as you all know, I have a coffee addiction, but I've been trying to not go to like the Starbucks locations because, I'm in Disneyland. You can get Starbucks anywhere. Is it still good? Sure. But I like getting these specialty cold brews or these Disneyland specific cold brews because it's just more unique and it's more magical to me than just getting my cafe mocha at Starbucks. Starbucks has its place in the park. Don't get me wrong. I know there's people that are very much diehard Starbucks people, but I've just really been enjoying all the different seasonal offerings of cold brews and all the different menu standard cold brews like the Black Calf. Yeah.
So after we ate lunch, we ended up going into Doc.
The last thing we decided to try there was the Vintian Mineral Mousse, which is the new seasonal dessert. I believe it's just here for the month of May to celebrate Star Wars, of course. But it was dark chocolate mousse with a banana brulee center, a strawberry mousse, and vanilla chantilly atop chocolate crumble, garnished with a cherry. That is what that little ball.
No wonder it tasted so
was
well.
A cherry.
It was dehydrated.
There was something crazy. We didn't know what it was because it doesn't look like a cherry, but apparently it's a cherry. So you've got this beautiful spread. The dessert itself was very flavorful, but very light.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a cheesecake. It was very dense and heavy. It was very, just very, very light and airy.
For a
delicious.
dessert, it's exactly what you want because it was a little sweet, but not too bad. Mm-hmm. It was cold, which was nice. So,
but the cherry. So we decided to split this in half. I was shocked because this little thing packed so much flavor compared to the light and airy everything. And it was good flavor. It was like a good sweet tart flavor, which now that we're talking about it, it makes total sense that it's a cherry.
Right.
But anyways, that was very, very good.
So after that, we went over to Doc Ondar's and we kind of looked around a little bit. They still have the dark saber in stock if people want to get that. They also have the Cal Kestis lightsaber there that I haven't seen yet. That's from the Jedi Fallen Order video game series, which looked really cool. We kind of popped around a little bit just in Galaxy's Edge. We went into the Droid Depot. Teresa was very excited because they had come out with first of all, she hasn't really been in the Droid Depot before, so that was cool.
Time in there.
And we saw that they had the B series droids, which is like a chopper, which is super cool. So then we left there, and I think we tried to start making our way back because we wanted to catch the Tangled show at the Princess Fantasy Fair. Yeah,
so that was really fun. They still don't have the wait times posted on the app, but just stop by the theater in the morning. They do have the wait times posted on a board out in front of the theater. That was the first time that I had caught a show there, and it was delightful. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I liked that it was more than just here's the play version of Tangled or the play version of Beauty and the Beast. You have two narrators and a live pianist that accompanies them, and really it's the narrators that steal the show. Yes, we have princesses present, so if we watched Tangled, we did go back and actually just finished up watching the Beauty and the Beast show. But so you do have the princesses there, but they're not quite as center stage as I thought. Yes, it's their story, but really the two players from the theater stole the show for me. They were so fun.
Yeah, I loved them. It was definitely a comedic kind of thing. They didn't take themselves too seriously. I did tell Teresa that one of them reminded me of my brother-in-law, and I would never imagine him being in this type of a show, so that kind of amused me on a personal level. They were great. Again, like Teresa said, we saw the Beauty and the Beast one today, and those two were also really great. So, great stories. I would really recommend seeing these shows if you have a few minutes to sit down. They're only about 20 minutes a piece. So definitely see them.
Worth
it. They got more lobster than I did. Sorry, we're sitting here and somebody got a lobster roll next to us.
You're leaving that on the podcast?
Yes. Jeez.
I don't think that's really that much more than what you got.
It's at least a little bit more. Yeah. So what did we do after that?
So after that, we decided to take a stroll up Main Street, and look at this! It's a canoe full of canoe cast members, just super paddling themselves around the river. I wonder, were they bored? What's going on? I wonder what's the special occasion here.
Training?
I don't know. How fun.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Well, that's not something you see
No.
every day. That was pretty fun.
Too bad we're not a video podcast.
I
That would have
know.
been fun.
Sorry for the distraction.
So after that, we decided to go over to the Tiki Room. We enjoyed the Tiki Room. Show, just like always. I was very impressed because there was a lot of different people in there. There was some younger teenagers, and they were into it. And I was like, this is different. I wasn't expecting that. So really, really great. Then we headed down Main Street.
So then we headed down Main Street because I wanted to make sure that we stopped in the Opera House there and check out the new Frederick Douglass display.
Yes.
Very well done. They do. It is nice. They have a very nice little write-up that explains the relationship between President Lincoln and Frederick Douglass and, how they worked together and all that. It was really wonderful. The other really cool thing was the cast member that kind of hangs out in the waiting area before you go into the theater was just so tickled and so excited that we had stopped specifically to check out the new display.
Oh, he was very excited.
He was very excited. So he was kind of, chatting with us and talking with us about the display, pointing out different things. I think there was some historical papers that were a little bit hard to read the words, so we had fun between us to try and figure out do you think I think this word is that, so we kind of, I don't want to say deciphered, but a little bit. It was a really good time. So really nicely done, so well done in fact that I genuinely don't remember what was there before because it fits in so seamlessly.
We also realized for the first time when I read the plaque that the Capitol display that's in there is actually made out of stone.
It's carved.
Yeah.
Carved out of stone.
Over 3 years, somebody carved it. I thought it was just a regular model.
The things you learn when you
stop and read things.
Stop and just really take in all the details because it was a very informative trip to the Opera House. We did not have time to go see Mr. Lincoln because we wanted to make sure that we took a Grand Circle tour before we had to get back to the Rivers of America to have our meetup at the Mark Twain. So
we also got a pickle.
Oh yes.
And a pineapple
pickle
wedge,
and a pineapple spear,
which was good. It was good.
Very refreshing.
Yes, and then we went and did a Grand Circle tour, which we ended up encountering this cute little boy.
Yeah,
at the Tomorrowland station. He was getting a little frustrated because he had got a toy from Galaxy's Edge, one of the creatures, and he was very excited to go back to the hotel and play with it. Mm-hmm. But I guess
I think his little sister really wanted to ride the train before they left. So he was feeling like his Grand Circle tour was taking a little bit too long. However, we didn't really make magic, but we did get to put a little pixie dust on the situation, and I started chatting with the little guy, and I asked him if he knew about the dinosaurs that were coming. So that quickly turned his frown upside down, and so he was all about finishing out the train ride.
He was.
Yeah, so it worked out really well.
Yeah, so we got out with the Grand Circle tour. We decided to mosey down Main Street. We decided to sit a spell in the Golden Horseshoe where there was a piano player inside, and this gentleman was very funny.
Let's be honest. We just the air conditioning of the Golden Horseshoe.
Oh, it was amazing. Was
calling our name, and it just so happened I didn't realize the piano player was back.
Me either.
So that was completely unexpected, but very, very welcome and happy surprise.
Definitely.
So fun.
Yeah.
He was really fun.
He was funny. He had a lot of dad jokes.
Yep, told all sorts of different jokes. Again, didn't take himself too seriously. Very, very talented piano player,
Definitely.
though. Lots of singing. It was fun. Very fun.
We also noticed a little interesting way that Disney does some magic that Teresa was surprised about. So if you look up at the chandeliers that are hanging from the ceiling in the main part of the Golden Horseshoe, the decorative area around where it kind of mounts into the ceiling is how they hide the air conditioning vents.
Yeah.
And I thought that was brilliant. Just
very
brilliant.
Very clever. Very clever. After that, we headed over to the Mark Twain, of course, to do our meetup. So shout out to the weekly tiers that were able to come over and take a trip around the rivers of America with us. Since it was midday and the sun was very hot, we decided this was the first time that I had been on the second deck of the ship. Usually I'm a run all the way up to the top and want to stand in the front type person, but we stood on the side mid of the middle deck, and it was very calm, very relaxing. The trip felt like it went by very quickly.
Yeah.
good conversation always, makes the time go by fast, especially when you're talking Disney.
Definitely. So again, thank you to all the weekly tiers who were able to show up and join us on that. I think that that's going to become a thing we do now when we do a trip, is pick an attraction that we kind of meet at a certain time and try to do something with all of us together. And that was nice because like we did one with a Small World before, this one was nice because we had time to converse with folks and all of that.
Exactly. So then after that, I actually was fighting a headache all day. I don't even remember when it started. It was that long of a headache. We tried making sure I was extra hydrated. We gave me caffeine. I took ibuprofen, tried all the normal tricks, and it just wasn't shaking. So I decided, since we had our dining reservations for World of Color, that I didn't want to be feeling miserable for the rest of the night. So I decided to take the opportunity to do the short walk back to the Hojo. And I took about an hour-long nap, which after I came back from the parks and met back up with Tag, I looked at him, I said, maybe we need to make this afternoon nap a thing, because I was like the Energizer bunny the rest of the night. I was not ready to leave when it was time to go. And Tag's like, we need to go. No, it is bedtime. We need to go back to the hotel. And I'm like, but I feel great.
So we decided to go ride the Jungle Cruise. And so I rode the Jungle Cruise with a couple weekly tiers. We had an amazing skipper. He was a bunch of jokes I had not heard before. And at the end, we were kind of backed up at the dock. And he just kept telling joke after joke after joke. He must have gone through the entire book of jokes, because he just kept going. He was wonderful. So after that, I was planning on trying to do like a little solo time in the park, which I was very looking forward to, just to kind of make decisions. However, the universe had better plans for me because all the lines were very long. So I decided to go get something to drink, and I sat over at the Hungrybear for a little while and just kind of people watched and enjoyed my time. Then I was like, oh, it's time to go meet back up with Teresa. So I left, met her back over at the Grand Californian. We checked in for our dinner package.
So before that, we stayed. We went and met in the lobby because I really wanted to look at the very, very cool, very impressive galactic creation. And that's actually what the name is. I keep calling it the Batuu display, or the Millennium Falcon. The galactic creation, according to the signs that were next to it. So I learned some cool facts. It was made with 200 pounds of powdered sugar, 32 pounds of crisp rice cereal, 60 pounds of marshmallows, 30 pounds of butter, 60 pounds of white fondant, 65 pounds of gray fondant, 30 pounds of egg whites.
Wow.
That's crazy. 35 pounds of white chocolate, 20 pounds dark chocolate, and a gallon of lemon juice.
That's a lot of lemon juice.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We had a weekly tier that actually went and took photos of this and took some really nice up-close photos, because the detail on this thing is incredible. Mm-hmm. You forget that it's food.
Yeah. It looked amazing.
So that was really cool. So then, after that, we went and checked in for our dining reservation over at Storytellers. Really nice. This was the first time I had been to Storytellers, first time you had been to Storytellers. Yep. Overall, lots of selection. The food was pretty good. We had some hits and misses. We also had some. It is a buffet, so there was also some hit and miss as far as timing went. If the food, if we got up there and the food was super fresh, or if it had been sitting there for a little while. So overall, I probably would give it 3.5 to a 4. Probably a 4. I'd probably say a 4. The food was pretty good. The only hard part was I wasn't sure if it was price point wise good.
Sure.
But it did give you the ability to go sit in this really wonderful preferred viewing area for World of Color.
Yeah. So some of the selections that they had that I particularly enjoyed, they had salmon. I'm a big salmon fan. So they had pieces of salmon. They had some prime rib. They had this orzo pasta salad thing that was amazing.
Really good. That was real good.
That was really good. They had, Teresa liked some of the selections of the salads that they had there.
I was really impressed because we were actually chatting with somebody about this. You had a build your own salad station, so you could, kind of like a garden mix stuff. They then had it was a curried cauliflower thing. Tag said the orzo pasta. There was a roasted Caesar salad.
Yep.
There was a
corn something.
Elote. Yeah, it was like an elote type salad. There was the salad section was not lacking. I was really impressed.
No.
Really impressed.
They also had some garlic mashed potatoes, which I thought were pretty good. They had a Brussels sprout and sweet potato kind of thing that was the sweet potato aspect of it that we're not sure were sweet potatoes because they weren't the color of sweet potatoes.
Yeah, they weren't
good.
They weren't orange, so maybe I may have learned something new. I did not know that if there are white sweet potatoes that exist, that I learned that. Otherwise, it was mismarked.
Teresa and I were split on the carrots. I liked the carrots.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the carrots. The carrots, when you looked at them, were very, very large. So I actually thought it was sweet potato. But then when you ate them, they didn't taste like sweet potato or carrot, really, to me. And I'm usually a fan of glazed carrots. So I was... Yeah, that was a little confusing for me. I did enjoy the prime rib, though. That was the only protein that I had tried. You had the salmon.
The salmon was good. So again, like Teresa said, the first time we went up, I'm not sure what happened with the food, but my salmon was dry, and there was a piece of pork belly I got that was also, I thought, dry. But I went up again, and I wanted to try the salmon again. They had put out a new platter of it, and the second and third, I went back for a third serving, of the salmon was really, really good, I thought. So, I think maybe just if you have an early dining reservation, wait till they bring out the second platter, perhaps, or maybe we just happen to get unlucky with it, that kind of thing. But I thought it was really good. The prime rib, of course, was good. They have a creamy horseradish, which was nice. And I think the star for me was this bread. Well, two things was this bread pudding that they have, which I've heard good things about.
They're kind of like famous for this bread pudding.
And something that some of the stuff is not part of the buffet, but you can order through your server, and it's included. We had the corn chowder, which I thought was also very good.
Yes, very good. Real quick, I'm just going to go through what we did try. All of the desserts. There was a pineapple coupe, which was kind of this. It was like Dole Whip, but in like a mousse form, and room temperature. Very good. The presentation on all of these desserts is fabulous. There was a mini chocolate molten cake, also a pistachio cream puff. That was very delicious.
Very good.
I was pleasantly surprised with the vegan chocolate chip cookies. I really quite enjoyed them. I kind of wanted to take one or two to go, but I was not that person. I didn't do that. But I was tempted. And then, yes, of course, the bread pudding. Very, very yummy.
Now, we were surprised. I don't know if it said anywhere for the dinner package or what.
Not that I had seen.
But he brought our check and he said, I've got a little goodies for you. And he brought us 2 boxes of macarons, which there was 3 macarons in each box.
3 packs of macarons.
And it was a variety pack. So Teresa, the one that was in one pack did not have, they were not the same as the ones in the other pack.
Yeah. We have not, I'm going to be honest, we kind of put them in the backpack and forgot that they were there until we got home from the parks that night. So Tag had one for breakfast this morning. But other than that, we kind of forgot about them. And shockingly enough, they held up in the backpack. I was really shocked. So they're packaged very, very well. After that, we decided to just kind of mosey around. DCA was really busy. The waits were kind of long. Tag had also eaten too much, so he was not feeling like...
I was like a beached whale, man. It was bad.
He was not feeling like wanting to go on any crazy rides, and he just wanted some time to walk around and digest. So we did take a spin on Little Mermaid's Under the Sea Adventure, and then we also went back and checked out the meet and greet for Raya. Even if you don't want to meet Raya, I really recommend going back to the area. The decor that they've done back there is really cool, really beautiful. They've got these really fun lanterns that are hung, and they light up at night. So make sure you go at dusk or in the evening so you can check out the glowing lanterns that are hung back in the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail area. Yeah,
that was really cool. Then we kind of, again, because I was so dang full, we kind of just moseyed around. And, we haven't talked about this really yet, but the last trip we were here and this trip, both have been... We finally hit that thing where we feel almost like locals, where we're not in the rush, attraction. We kind of just started taking a lot of details, which Teresa did make fun of me because I pointed out some things, and she goes, "You never noticed that before?"
Yeah, some things that, to me, I was like, wow, I feel like that was... Really? You've not seen that? Like, it felt very apparent and obvious to me, but apparently
no,
not the same to Tag. So I was like, what are you normally looking at? And so he's like, you realize I only look at pretty much the same specific, like when you go through attraction, I seem to always look at these certain things. So different times when we were on attractions, he was trying very hard to not, to avoid looking at the things he always looks at, to then see what
Well,
other
we
things you
switched.
can see.
For me, like it's just habit for me to be in the front. Like, and what I mean in the front is like if we're in line, I'm usually the furthest one closest to the attraction, and then Teresa and whatever. And so it was one of those things where this time I started trying to push Teresa in front of me, so she would get into the ride vehicle stuff first, and I could be on the opposite side of a ride vehicle or stuff that I didn't look at. And I saw a lot of cool things. We did that with the dark rides and stuff. It was great.
So then after that, we decided why not take some time and, just go hang out in our preferred viewing area. So we went over. The preferred viewing area is quite central. I was actually pleasantly surprised with it. Since we were there so early, we did get to be in the quote-unquote first row of that section. So we did learn the frontmost section is the splash zone, so you will get wet there because you are right on the edge of the lagoon. Past that is the general seating. Blue. I think that's... Oh, but that's if you get a pass, isn't it? So that's if you sign up for the boarding.
Queue.
Yep, the virtual queue or like a boarding pass type situation. So that's the... If you are on your app right at noon, that seating area.
Yeah.
We were just behind them, which was preferable because we were elevated.
Yep.
There was stairs separating us and them, so we had an elevated view. So it was really great. Overall, I was shocked with World of Color. They definitely upped their technology. I feel like the projection screens were much more clear. I was noticing details of stuff that I had never seen before just because, when you're projecting on a water screen or just water, it's not like watching it on a TV screen, but so you kind of lose a lot of the detail. However, with whatever upgrades and new technology they put in there were so many different things that I had that was the most enjoyable time I have seen World of Color. Probably aside from the first time I had ever seen it, that was probably the most enjoyable experience I had with it. It was just like excitement at every corner. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I have watched World of Color in the past, it doesn't keep my attention quite like Fantasmic does. Right. But this time, I was like on the edge of my imaginary seat because, of course, we're standing the whole time. So I was really pleasantly surprised.
Cool. Yeah. So I generally am. Like, World of Color is fine, but I think I compare it too much to Fantasmic, so I don't enjoy it quite as much. I did enjoy this. I did. It was so funny because the Pirates segment started, and I said, well, that they don't have the fire working for this yet. And then Teresa started recording, and it was fire, 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 fire. And I was like, okay, but the big fire thing didn't work. Well, the entire frickin' sky lit up and was on fire. And unfortunately for Teresa, Instagram cut off her recording like a second before this happened.
Yep. Bad timing.
I feel like that was your disappointment.
The joke's now been, Fantasmic lights the river on fire, so World of Color had to one-up them and set the sky on fire. That crazy, it was like a pillar of flame. It wasn't just the little giant ball that they used to do. It was
awesome.
Impressive. We were also joking did they forget how to do this and so they had it turned up a little too high? Was that on purpose? I mean, you'll have to let us know. We only saw World of Color the one time, so anyone else that sees it, let us know if there's that just massive column of fire or if it does go back to just the giant ball of fire.
Yeah. So we were tired again after that, but we went over to Radiator Springs. Mm-hmm. And we decided to ride Radiator Springs Racers, which was great. The line wasn't too bad. It was the shortest, I think, because I feel like we always go through all the little buildings when we're waiting standby, and we didn't go through all the different buildings. So I think it turned out really well. Mm-hmm. The attraction is great at night. It's a great nighttime attraction. Yeah. The colors and the lighting and everything was just spectacular. We lost.
We did.
Our race.
I was a little sad. A couple of the animatronics weren't working. The sheriff he wasn't rolling back and forth. Same with the first tow mater. He was stationary. And then I noticed that Lightning McQueen at the end, he wasn't moving either. His mouth was going, but the actual animatronic
I didn't notice
was
that.
Kind of stuck in a slightly awkward position. But so I was a little disappointed about that. But, it's mechanics, it's machines. These things need TLC too. So hopefully they will be back and feeling better soon. So after that, we ended our night and went back to the hotel. This morning, though, we started our day at DCA. Got there right at rope drop, actually, is when we were scanning in. We basically just scanned right in. We had no line at the turnstiles, which was magical in and of itself. So we started with Soarin'. That was a little goofy. We were waiting in line, and then all of a sudden, the theater actually, something happened, and that theater went down. So then they rerouted us and had us march on over to the other side. The thing that was interesting, too, once we got into that theater, they were only loading the middle section.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the reasoning was, but we prefer the middle section, so it worked out well for us.
Not related to Soarin', but there was a cute girl who was dressed as Mary Poppins in the line next to us.
This little girl was adorable.
Amazing. And we saw her a few times throughout the rest of the day, and her dress was like perfect. I don't know how she kept it perfect.
Yep.
Soarin', it's fine. It was back to over the world or around the world. So I like the California version better.
We stopped over at the Cappuccino Cart. I was all excited because I wanted to mobile order from there because that is one of the options. However, for some reason, I wasn't able. You're not able to mobile order any of the espresso drinks. So, and I wanted a mocha. So we actually just walked over the cart. The line was short. It was very quick turnaround, so not a big deal. So I got my coffee. Tay got a croissant for breakfast. We then walked over, tried our luck on Midway Mania.
Oh my goodness!
Of course, had fun with that. I don't know how, but I somehow beat Tag by just 200 points. Never have I played Midway Mania and it been that close. That was nuts.
But you did good because our first round you beat me. And then I think the second round you had beat me. The third round I finally overtook you.
Yeah, you were.
And then the last round you beat me.
So it was really, we were on the edge of our seats at the end because we had no idea who won since we were kind of going back and forth. So I don't know how I literally squeaked past, but I somehow managed it. After Soarin', we walked over and did the Incredicoaster.
Amazing as always. There was a cast member there I do want to shout out. His name I think was Christian. Amazing.
Yes.
He was handling the crowd there amazingly.
We then went over because I really wanted to try the Poultry Palace, and since I just had a liquid breakfast with my coffee, I needed a little sustenance. So we got the drumstick box. So it was 3 very large, generous drumsticks and a side of coleslaw. The coleslaw was like a vinegar based. It was good. I liked it. The chicken, I'm sad to say, it had potential, but for some reason our batch was it was like extra greasy. So the breading on the bottom side was soggy. Tay and I actually got grease like dripped on us, so we had to get out my emergency Tide to Go pen.
Thank goodness you had that.
Yeah, try and clean up after ourselves. So and I was a little surprised because we were talking with a weekly tier later today, or later after we'd had it, and she was surprised. She said that she loves going there and that was kind of an off thing. So maybe another day we'll have to try it. But I will say, try it again. But I will say it would have been a really good value if it wasn't for how greasy it was and drippy and oily. The flavor was great.
The flavor was good.
It was a nice light breading with kind of a peppered spice flavor to it.
Yeah.
Very yummy.
For me, there was a lot going against it for me. First of all, I'm not a huge leg person.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Grease bothers me. I don't like I don't like chicken and stuff with bones in it. I usually so it's too messy. I did think, like Teresa said, I did think the breading on it was very good and did have a lot of potential. My leg also had some tendons and stuff in it. So unfortunately, it didn't work out. I do think we should try it again sometime.
Yeah. And we were talking about this too. Maybe it's like Storytellers. We were there basically right after they opened, so maybe I would have thought that would have been the freshest food, but maybe it's not. So we'll try it again sometime. But I mean, the 3-leg box was I think $10, and they were They were, like I said, they were pretty large portions. So it did have that going for it. I think we decided I have to remember we were joking about this, and I need to remember so that I make it a thing. So everybody rates things differently. I think my thing's going to be mini bows. So I'm going to give
5?
That 3 bows out of 5.
3 bows out of 5. I have to figure out what I'm going to do.
Lightsabers?
Maybe.
Jury's
still out. We'll think about it. But if I'm using your bows,
3 ears. I do it 3 ears.
If I'm using your bows or ears, I would say for me, I thought the flavor was like a 3.5, and I would say the execution was like a 2.
Yeah, and we understand that it was maybe just an off day for the Poultry Palace, so hopefully next time it'll be better.
We then went and rode Little Mermaid again and kind of moseyed on over. I was trying really hard to get some stuff done in Avengers Campus. I wanted to see Wanda, Scarlet Witch, and I wanted to try to catch either America Chavez or Doctor Strange. So we kind of, the rest of this day was us, anytime we needed to go between things, we'd swing through Avengers Campus. We did eventually get Scarlet Witch, who was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, so before heading to Avengers Campus, we actually stopped over. The Boudin Bakery tours are up and running again, and they are giving out the nice slices. They're bigger than I remember. It was like half a slice of bread so that you can enjoy of the sourdough bread while you go through the tour. So fun because you get to peek into the bakery. The bakery was going, so there was things moving. They were mixing the dough and rolling the dough into balls and putting them onto the trays, and then you saw them baking in the ovens. And then
you were very excited about this.
They're cutting the bread bowls and all that. So it was really cool. My only complaint was at the end of it, I really wanted, of course, a craving for more sourdough bread. Just like, I think I'm going to buy myself a loaf. Well, they're all very large. So I was like, they need to have like a miniature loaf.
You just need like a purse that you could just be eating the sourdough bread out of.
I was like, I would be 100% just munching on sourdough bread if they had a smaller one.
Yeah.
The Mickey sourdoughs are huge, and then the other ones are like the loaves are probably like the size of your bread bowl. So it's just a little more than I wanted to commit to.
So we went over because we wanted to ride Monsters, Inc. Well, we went over there, and right as we went to get on the attraction went down.
Yeah.
So we decided to...
Good timing or bad timing, however you want to look at it.
Right. So we decided to leave, and we went over, and I got a chili dog from Award Wieners. Yeah, so we got that, and we ate a little bit of that quick, and we went and watched the Mickey's Philharmagic show.
Mm-hmm. Very fun.
Always fun. We had a guy sit in front of us who was really great, singing along with the show.
The best part was he did not look like your typical Disney fan. He was not decked out in all sorts of Disney garb. In fact, it looked like he had just been drugged along with his family.
Right.
He was being like the good, supportive brother, husband, just, whatever. And he didn't even have his opera glasses on when it started. And all of a sudden, Be Our Guest comes on, and here he is doing, a Lumiere impression and knows every single word, and was just like loving it after that. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And it was also just, I think, probably even more fun because it was so unexpected.
Yeah.
So we were very entertained by him. So shout out to that guest.
Yeah, I told him his voice was good, and he's like, oh, I'm just having fun. I think he was embarrassed by it, but it was good. Fun. And then we went back and actually got on Monsters, Inc., which was good. We
did, yeah. And then so a couple other things that I got to do and experience that I thought were really fun was one of the many times that we were back in Avengers Campus.
Yes.
I stopped over at PIM and got the PIM Particle Punch. Super fun. I gotta pull up what was in this because there were, first of all, pop rocks in a drink, and I was surprised because as I was drinking it, the pop rocks, when they got in my mouth, they were still popping. It was a very noisy drink.
I'm curious to see if this comes through. Hold on. It was very poppy. Very poppy. It looked so cool, too.
So the popping particle punch was carbonated pineapple hurricane with grenadine and flavor bursts, a.k.a. Pop Rocks. So fun. So fun. Very refreshing, especially on a hot day. And then the other thing that I was really excited about was we've been checking out, of course, the pin trading boards, but the pin trading board at Mickey's Philharmagic, I was just endlessly excited and giddy about because I walked over and there was the final Disneyland D with Alice that I needed to finish my collection of the other Disneyland Ds with characters. I was just beside myself with excitement that I was able to snag that pin.
Yeah. So now you've finished it.
I have.
You have your whole collection.
I finished that collection now. Super, super cool. After that, we decided to park hop back over to Main Street. Park hop back over to Disneyland. Apparently my chicken leg didn't stay with me long enough because I was getting a little hungry, so I decided to go and try the Beera Sandwich over at the Jolly Holiday. Oh man, 5 out of 5 bows for that because that was
so. Describe
phenomenal.
What this is.
So it's basically, it's kind of like the grilled cheese sandwich in the way of it's, the big, thick, toasted bread, but it had this, very juicy, very tender, pulled, I'm pretty sure it's beef. So it had this. It was very juicy, very tender pulled beef with pepper jack cheese. There was cilantro salsa verde, and it was a sourdough thick bread that was toasted, and it came with this like side of dipping sauce. In my opinion, it didn't even need the sauce was delicious, but the sandwich was so flavorful in and of itself that that the sauce was just like a cherry on top. And it was more of like I don't want to say broth. It was a consomme, so it was more of like a broth.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh,
I drank some of it. It was good.
Delicious. So flavorful.
I wasn't hungry yet, and I didn't want to have a repeat of our dinner thing from the previous night. Teresa really wanted me to order something, but I was like, no. So I went and mobile ordered the parfait of Mustafar from the Galactic Grill, which is the chocolate lava cake, chocolate ganache, red pâte à choux filled with salted caramel pudding and red-colored white chocolate mousse. It was amazing.
I'd give that 4 bows.
4? I think
it was
a 4.
a little rich for me, but it was still very delicious.
You know what it was that was weird to me is it's got that same topping of the stuff that's like in Avengers Campus, the purple orb thing. But the purple orb has always been very, very cold, and this wasn't very cold.
Well, and this was also, there was more of and it was like the pistachio cream puff that we had over at Storytellers. There was more of that like bread.
Yeah.
The ratio was different on this than the Cosmic Cream Orb. For me,
Sure.
the Cosmic Cream Orb is mostly cream with a little bit of orb.
Sure.
This was more orb than cream.
Sure.
Still very tasty, though. After that, we actually walked over, because I had yet to try the horchata cold brew over at Rancho. So we went over to Rancho, grabbed a cold brew. I was endlessly amused because she put a hidden Mickey in my whipped
She
cream.
did.
It was so adorable. I took way too many photos of just my Mickey whipped cream because I thought it was so cute. Very tasty, creamy, cool, refreshing. Perfect.
After that, we watched the Beauty and the Beast show at the Princess Fest Fair, which was also great again.
It was.
Which we already talked about.
It was fun because I don't know if it was because it was a different day. I don't know if it was because it was Tangled versus Beauty and the Beast, but the two main players, they had the same name, but they were different cast members. So it was really fun to see new performers playing the same parts, and I think both sets fit the roles that we saw them in super well. So
and
I almost wonder if like you two do this show and you two do that show. It was really good.
And I thought both sets of performers brought amazing like differences to it, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was
wonderful.
so fun. And then after that, we sat down on the Rumors of America to chat with you all about this.
Yes. So we will probably have another, I don't know, we might end up splitting this into a second thing.
Looks like we're coming in for a landing, gang. But please stay listening until trivia comes to a stop. And then you can walk to the nearest exit. Thanks for listening to the 8th wonder of the world, DLWeekly.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we're going to find out just how good Take and Teresa did now that they've got those synapses firing and they're all freshened up on their Disney knowledge, having just been out there, and you're feeling good. You're shaking your heads at me.
I was feeling good.
I was feeling good.
Until the questions happened.
Yep.
Well, let's see how you did. Now, remember, this isn't me. This is the listeners. Listeners submitted questions.
Wow. We must have done poorly. He's defending himself already.
Your first question from listener Stephen S. This comedian/actor replaced Wally Bogue at the Golden Horseshoe when he retired in 1982. Your answers were Billy Hill and Stumped. The correct answer that I was looking for was Dick Hardwick.
Oh.
And
Dick Hardwick?
When I originally put it in for the question I was using, I had looked it up, and I could have given you that answer then, but that was a while ago.
I'm looking. I'm on his website right now. Right here. 10,000 shows as the comic in the Golden Horseshoe Review.
It was just the comic.
It just says as the comic.
He must have been himself.
Aha. All right.
Otherwise, it would have said as the comic, blah.
Oh, it landed him, that gig at the Golden Horseshoe landed him the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest run for a live theatrical presentation. It was seen by more than 12 million people.
Well.
And he even married one of the beautiful can-can dancers.
Well. Your second regular round question submitted by listener Donna S. In creating the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, whose decision was it to put in a second waterfall drop? Your answers were Mark Davis and Walt Disney. The correct answer that I was looking for was Walt Disney.
Good job, Teresa.
Your third regular round question, submitted by listener Lee S. On the farm where Walt Disney lived in Marceline, Missouri, there was a large cottonwood tree where young Walt would daydream and draw animals. When Walt visited Marceline in 1956, he was amazed that the tree was still standing and identified it as his dreaming tree. Unfortunately, the tree fell in 2015. However, 3 saplings were grown from seeds that were harvested from Walt's dreaming tree. One was planted on the Marceline farm where Walt lived, one is in a hidden location, and one was planted in Disneyland's Frontierland in one of the following locations. A. Tom Sawyer Island. B. The Lakota Indian Village. Or C. Near Mark Twain's Dock. Your answers were Mark Twain's Dock or Tom Sawyer Island. The correct answer that I was looking for, it was originally planted near Mark Twain's Dock and has since been moved to the Lakota Village. So I will give credit for Mark Twain's Dock, although it currently resides in Lakota Village.
Are you giving full credit or half credit?
I'm going to give full credit because your dad just said
nicer
to.
Than Lee. Lee in the chat said that Tag should get half credit.
Well, thank you, Vern. I think he's taking pity on me for doing so poorly on the other questions. It's considering that I have 0 and you have 1, 2?
No, 1.
1.
Yeah, no,
so now we're tied.
And your fourth and final regular round question.
Dang, that was like a trick one. There was really 2 right answers, and I picked the one wrong one. Sorry, go on.
And your fourth and final regular round question from listener Perry G. In the queue for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, there is a signpost with 6 locations posted. The sign at the top points to Rainbow Ridge with a distance of 50 feet away. Can you name at least 2 of the other locations on this signpost? You answered with Thunder Mesa or Big Thunder Mountain. You were thinking of a signpost that has 4 locations. And that signpost does have Thunder Mesa.
Oh.
The correct answer that I was looking for would include Spiral Butte, Coyote Canyon, Busted Flats, Dinosaur Gap, or Nevermind.
Oh.
Dang, we failed that one hard.
Where is this sign?
It is farther back in the queue and kind of tucked back in the brush.
Ooh.
If you Google Big Thunder Mountain Railroad signpost Spiral Butte, it'll come up right away. But if you just put in Big Thunder Mountain Railroad signpost, it brings up the one you were thinking of.
Rainbow Ridge, Spiral Butte, Coyote Canyon, something I can't see, Dinosaur Gap, Nevermind.
Dang,
here
the
it is.
Nevermind's good.
Busted Flats. Wow. We did not do well.
No, we did not.
And so, for your bonus points, can you name the correct distances for the locations?
Nope.
Spiral Butte is 1/4 of a mile away. Coyote Canyon is 1/2 mile away. Busted Flats is 8 1/2 miles away. Dinosaur Gap is no distance or 0 miles away. And Nevermind is 79 miles away.
I wonder what the Busted Flats and Nevermind is, since they're not right there. Since they're 8.5 and 79 miles away.
I think it's supposed to be like Nevermind.
Is it Nevermind or Nevermind?
I think it's mine because it's like playful.
Nevermind. Yeah.
You learn something new every day. I love this attraction.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, like, where is the Nevermind?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll
That's
have
89
to
miles
get a
away.
compass and make a circle
Oh my goodness.
80 miles away from Anaheim and figure out what's on that circle, and we have a project now. Listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you feel about how Tag and Teresa did? Do you think you've got some great questions that you could ask them? If you feel you've got an awesome question, feel free to send that in to us at trivia@dlweekly.net.
We will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us. And we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.